Oh wait, do we have to all say our names? Did he say we have to all say our names in the beginning too?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my name is Michael. I was chosen or volunteered to be the moderator for this meeting. Yeah, and we'll go around. Everybody can share their name, and then I will share first about the podcast.
Okay. I'll go next. I'm Sina, and I volunteered to be the note taker for today. So yeah.
I'm
Okay,
Rosemary.
Oh, you can go first.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Rosemary. I'm just part of the discussions.
Okay. Hi everyone. So my name is Noel Salah, but you guys can actually call me Salah. And yeah, I'll be part of the discussion too. And nice meeting all of you guys.
I'm Maya. I will also be part of this lovely discussion today.
Hi, and I'm Sherry Ann, or you can call me Ann. I'm also going to be part of the discussion.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, the podcast definitely had a lot of information, a lot of specific examples about what set jetting is. I think everybody read just a quick definition that Brother Schaefer gave us about set jetting, movie sets or locations where movies are filmed, and just visitors, tourists flocking to those locations, trying to make a connection with that location. So probably what stuck out to me the most, I believe it was around this probably 18 to 20-minute mark. It explained that visitors have more of a connection to a location, like a movie set location. They feel more connected to that location more than they would if that location was simply advertised. So that event of them filming in that location brought more value to that location for them. So even if maybe it wasn't a desirable looking location or a setting, they still felt connected to it because of what took place there. So that was probably what stuck out to me the most. Even with all the examples from all the movie references, that was my biggest takeaway from that podcast. And let's see, we'll go down the line here and we will start with Sina.
Okay. So, yes, I'm Sina, and something cool I found about the podcast was that, oh yeah, so in the beginning, it was talking about like the extra turkeys, and I was like, oh my gosh, where is this going? Because he's like, man, we undersold the turkeys, and there's like so much left, and it's just all gonna go to waste, or at least that's what I thought. And then after, it was because of like the ingenuity and like the creativeness they were able to make this beautiful product called TV dinners. And so I really didn't know the backstory of that, so it was cool finding that out. And something else about the podcast that I liked was learning about like the movies too, how much effect it has on the tourism industry. I didn't realize like a lot of people, like literally their point of a visit to somewhere could be because a movie was filmed there. And I thought that was cool, how movies can have a big impact on the tourism industry. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Sina. And we'll go with Maya.
Okay, just to add what Sina was talking about, I totally agree with like how much like movies can impact, because like moving to Hawaii like my brother's like, oh, Jurassic Park was filmed there, and then like, oh, like Jumanji was filmed right there, and I was like, okay, I get it. And he's like, Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, but I just think it's really cool how much it can affect it and how much it influences it. Something else I wanted to add was just like how many different things I guess can go into like advertising for tourism. And it made me think of this one like convention I went to. But it was talking about like advertisements, and in like the little like paragraph before the podcast, I guess it's talking about like influenced by words, colors, and images. And there was this one like session or whatever at this convention, and it just talked about like how like the colors of the ad can affect your mood and stuff like that. So it just reminded me of that. But I thought it was a really interesting podcast.
Right, thank you. Rosemary.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go along with what they said, I've the podcast mentioned Game of Thrones. I've never seen that, but like it's just amazing to hear like the impact of these movies with the economy and development of each countries that was mentioned. Um, like I just remembered like back home in my island. My island is really small, but there was this movie that was filmed in my island, and since then like people were curious what my island looks like. So like kind of what Sina said, it's just cool to see how a specific event in the or scene in the movie impacts the economy of the place. Like the one that it mentioned, the Maryland. Sorry, I forgot the name, but there were like only few people who lived there. But because of that specific movie that the people saw, some of the people moved there, and there were ups and downs regarding that event that took place in that specific state. But it's just like really cool to see the influence of the movies that we watch with the tourism. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sala?
Um, okay, so I think for me, one of the things that stood up to me from the video that we have been experienced. So I think about the Swan company, they were able to develop the food business about Turkey. And I think there's like two things that stood up to me from that part is how they were able to manage their service and also the time that they were able to um, do and share their food service. And I think they were able to portray and target about marketing, how they were able to share it in tourism industry. And that service attracts a lot of tourism that able to um, help tourists to get the best experience and also to explore in different countries as they travel. And also um, the other thing is that they were able to improve from instead of desperate in the freeze turkey, but they were able to improve to the meatloaf and frying chicken and stuff like that. So that service helped to target the tourists to come and explore and get the best experience that they can get from the Swan company. And they were able to flown to American Airline because they offer the best service, and um, they were able to give the best sample of the tray to the headquarters that helped them to get the best experience for the tourists and also around the world. And also something that mentioned about the Game of Thrones, the movie. So it was about the experience about the family who walk on the throne, and they were able to get the best experience, and that really helped in the tourism industry. And also attracting the food service is one of the media best Chinese service that help to get the best experience for tourists around the world. And yeah, that is something that really stood out to me in the video.
Okay, thank you. So we all pretty much pointed out
Can I add?
the positives. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So just going along with what everybody said, some of my oh, just let me know if you don't hear me that well because I'm outside.
Oh,
Okay,
I can hear you.
perfect. So thank you. And yeah, like just going along with what everyone said, I feel like so starting off with marketing and advertising, it's just really interesting how sometimes we don't really see the impact of advertising or of movies have until we're actually in a place and we see firsthand that oh yeah, it's packed with tourists and stuff like that. Like for example, where I live or where I
I think she got cut off.
Just
Yeah.
pause. Yeah.
Oh, should I?
and they're gonna be like posting like my classmates will,
Oh, she's
oh
back.
let's go here to this restaurant or because it like this movie was shot here, let's go here and there. And the same goes for where I live or I technically live right now or my family. So it's Palawan and lots of movies were also shot there. And so yeah, it's just interesting how yeah, usually we focus on like Michael said, the positive side of films and stuff. But at the same time, like you said, there are negatives as well. So what I've noticed firsthand in Palawan and even Baguio, so it was very, very clean when I got there, or at least when I was younger. But then with all the tourists coming in, you can't really avoid that. With that, some people are gonna not leave the place as clean as it used to be. More cars are gonna come into the city as well, and that's gonna cause congestion and traffic. Basically, it's just different, economically, environmentally, and there's lots of changes as well. And just in relation to what we have listened to the podcast, there's also something that they said about a movie. I forgot what it's called. But basically, it's something about the meth. You know, like it kind of in a way influenced the reputation of the place as well that they were shooting in. And so it really goes to show that not
Rip.
I was like, oh no. I think you got cut off again, Anne.
It's okay. We can just continue.
like so I was thinking that. And I mean, just going back to the positives, I guess. I just remember how film, whenever I watch a film or a drama, I'm also probably one of the target markets because I'm gonna be like, oh, I want to go there. I don't know, like I see films in Europe or in San Francisco. I remember walking around with my sister and she was like, oh, this is where they ate. And I was like, oh, yeah. And unknowingly, we also kind of become those people that are target markets. You kind of want to go to places like that. And so, yeah, that's something I found interesting.
All right, thank you. So yeah, that is an important point. We all brought up positives, but there are negatives. I know for, especially like in Hawaii, Hawaiians are very sensitive about their culture, just because of its past. So when celebrities are interviewed about the location, or even when visitors come here, um, that sometimes I can see some friction or conflict because locals, if they feel that their home is disrespected in any way, they're very vocal about it. They will be very quick to ignore whatever economic benefit it brings, and they're more focused on the possible cultural harm that it can bring. So does anyone else, we covered a lot of the positives, does anybody else, can you guys think of a negative or anything?
Me, I think like with each scenes that we normally see in in a movie, there's like a stigma that we normally like learn from a movie. So like what you said about Hawaiians, like I've seen this like I think someone just said like, oh, people when a visitor or like a tourist come here, like, uh people here have aloha, but where's your aloha, something like that. So like kind of goes along with the podcast, like when people visit the place, they have a stigma like, oh, there's a ghost or something. Like it's just stigmatized the entire place that they visit, which is kind of very, very negative for the people who live there.
Thank you. Is there anything else? We have about, I think we have about a couple more minutes if anybody else wants to share anything. We're good?
I think one thing, like one negative thing about tourism industry, I think what I experienced from like working in the BCC, I saw like the tourists, they attracted because of the best service that BCC offer. So when the service is not that good, I think like some tourists or some guests, they complain, and um, because service could be one of the best experience for them. So that's one of the other negative thing about tourism industry is like the service. When the company or the restaurant didn't serve the good or their best, so they will complain. And yeah.
Can
Thank
I
you
add on?
so much. Go ahead.
So yeah, just kind of going along with Rosemary and Salah. Yeah, I agree. There are some inaccuracies as well whenever it comes to filming movies. So in relation to what Michael said, it would affect the people, the culture, and reputation of the place. So yeah, I think it's also very important that when they film movies, it's also as accurate as it could be because it could greatly affect the place or the location. So I was thinking about that as well.
Yeah, all valid points, all very true. So, I mean, at times I'm okay with it. At other times I'm not okay with it. And Sala, you're right, you know, about service. A lot of people, if they see a movie, many times they arrive at that location and that is their point of view on that location. I think I don't want to say they're closed-minded, but um, I've been to other places in the world where people judge Hawaii just based on what they see in the movies. They ask about grass shacks, are we dancing on the beach, things like that. So um, yeah, that's something we just need to be careful about. So thanks everybody for you guys' input, and until the next meeting,
Yes.
you guys take care.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Bye.